Today, my wife met my girlfriend. I, 30 am a widow. My wife passed away from pancreatic cancer 5 years ago. She was forced to leave behind our two kids, R, 10 and H, 7 My wife was the absolute light of my life. We were high school sweethearts, went to the same college and got married after graduation. We were inseparable. Every day I fell more in love with her. It was like my heart was living outside my body. When she passed, the amount of pain I was in was indescribable. I prayed to go to sleep and not wake up just so I could see her one last time. I contemplated meeting her, but every time I was ready, my kids would look at me. They had her face, her personality, her DNA. I couldn't leave them. They were all I had left of her. It took years before I was able to function normally again. I even quit my job and lived off of savings and her life insurance for about a year. I was half the dad I used to be and only a fraction of my former self. 2 years after her passing, I decided enough was enough and I kicked myself into gear. I found a job in a different city, closer to my parents. I packed my kids up, and I moved. Life was hard, but I kept chugging along and eventually I found some joy. A year after moving, I took a business trip to NY where I met my current girlfriend, Elle. While I acknowledged there was chemistry, I told her I was already married, and she understood. However, a few months later, I had to go back to NY where we met up again. I let my guard down for the first time around her. Before I knew it, she was putting in a transfer for my home branch and moving to my city. I fell in love with her and asked her out a year ago next month. My kids adore her, and though she reminded them, she will never take their mom's place. They lovingly call her Mama L. Today was the anniversary of my wife's passing, an extremely hard day for all of us. This morning, I walked into the living room to find Elle and my kids waiting for me. The kids were dressed in their church clothes with goofy smiles on their faces and bouquets in hand. Apparently, Elle came up with the idea of a picnic at my wife's grave, an idea that the boys loved as they enjoy going to see their mom. While I was sleeping, they prepared food and flowers, then insisted on wearing their best clothes. I'll admit that I cried at the sight of them. I don't know how I got this lucky twice in a row. I wanted my wife to meet this amazing woman, so I asked Elle to come along, and she did. The day that I dread every year turned out to be a humbling reminder of the reason why I stayed on this planet. To my lovely wife, you can never be replaced. But she is good to me, and she takes care of our kids like you would. Thank you for sending her to me. Update. I already had a profound appreciation for my girlfriend before I made that post, but the comments gave me an entirely new perspective. The night after I made that post, I took my girlfriend out to dinner. And I can't explain it, but the light I was viewing her in was different. Everything she did that night gave me butterflies. She was showing me pictures that she took at the aquarium with my oldest, and I couldn't stop staring at her. In that moment, I came to the conclusion that I was going to propose a lot sooner than I expected. A few days later, I went ring shopping with her mom, who was very excited, and we found the perfect ring. I then made a reservation at her favorite restaurant for last Friday and set the big day in motion. Long story short, I'm getting married. Again. As some of you said, promotions can wait. Though after looking at her wedding ideas, I may need a promotion to financially recover, haha. I'm excited to start this journey with her and my amazing kids. As I've said before, I am so lucky. I hope you all find your own Lila, and thank you again. Comment. Was not expecting that based on the title. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. My late GF's best friend and I have been sleeping together. Now she's pregnant. I know people are going to call me stuff like a scumbag and asshole. Just want to at least ask to please hold off on it, because I already do feel shitty. Lost my girlfriend over a year ago, a few months before COVID lockdown. She was living with a heart condition and needed a transplant. Didn't make it though, and it messed me up. Still messed up actually. This is my first time ever losing someone that I love. Me and her have been together since we were 20. Her BFF since high school was there for all of it, and she always understood where I was at in grief. Then COVID made it all even more isolating and depressing. We started chatting often to see how we were doing. Got closer. Pretty soon we were doing movie nights and stuff. Either I came to her place or her mine. We just needed that comfort. We were helping each other with our grief, but also like we became better friends than we were before. One night we got a high and had sex. It was my first time sleeping with someone else other than my girlfriend. We didn't talk for 3 weeks and then I felt like I missed her, so reached out. We decided to pretend it didn't happen, but then next time we hung out we ended up kissing, and then that just led to sex on the couch. I don't know why we just decided to not acknowledge what this means, only that it feels good and makes us happy. But continue doing it. It's been 4 months since this happened, and she called me last night freaking out because she hasn't had her period in a while, so I went to her place. I bought a few pregnancy tests, and they're all positive. She's going to the doctor this week, but she told me she's not sure she has it in her to abort, which means she'll keep the baby, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. She says I'm the only guy she's been sleeping with, but if I feel I need a paternity test to confirm, then she's fine with that. I don't really have any doubts. I know she's an honest person and wouldn't lie to me, but that means I'm going to be a dad. That means my late GF's friends are going to know we've been sleeping together, and no doubt her family will too. I've already been feeling guilty enough knowing that I am sleeping with someone my GF loved like a sister. Now there's going to be a baby involved in the mix. Then we haven't even had an actual talk about what we are because we didn't want to acknowledge what we've been doing. It's a whole mess with everything, and it's like I can't focus on one thing at a time. It's freaking me out. I want to feel happy that I'm going to be a dad because I know I wanted kids at some point in the future. I always hoped it would have been with my girlfriend. I'm sad, guilty, and confused, to be honest. Not sure how I'm supposed to handle any of this right now on top of everything else. Is there really any right way to deal with this? 3 days later. Hasn't been that long, I know just some new developments. First, thank you everyone for your support and advice. I really appreciate it. We talked all day yesterday, and then today too, and it's been a lot in just a few days. She's decided she's keeping the baby, and I told her I want to be involved 100%. She has her first prenatal appointment TMRW. She asked me if I wanted to come, and I said yes. Having time to actually sit down to process this part of me is weirdly excited. Initially all I felt was panic, then thinking of the fact that there's a baby that's part me in there. I don't know, it makes me feel happy. Gonna be involved off it gets more complicated with the fact that there's feelings between us. I've let my mind go there, thinking about all our past interactions even before the sex started. How much I genuinely enjoyed her company, and how she is as a person, not just because she was my girlfriend's best friend, but just how she is as a friend and person in general. Didn't let my mind go there before, but I know now that there are deeper feelings that I wanted to ignore. IDK if going in it was a smart move, but I decided to be open to her about it and confessed how I've been feeling. She's been on the same boat, except she knows her feelings for me are genuine. She's been talking about it to her therapist for a while, but didn't want to say anything since we were sleeping together and didn't know if for me it was just a physical thing. It was a super long talk, honestly. We didn't even notice how long our convo was. Definitely going to get back into therapy just to make sure I'm at my healthiest mentally for the baby and get ready to be a parent. Then to just deal with everything that's going to come out from this. For now, we want to take things very slowly. Try a couple of dates and see where things go. We're always going to be in each other's lives, regardless of what happens. We shared our first kiss. I mean, we've kissed many times before, but this, the first one since acknowledging what's going on. Then today we had breakfast together. I feel happy and still guilty. Like I don't deserve this. I hope therapy is able to help with it. Reached out to my old therapist I was seeing for grief counseling after I lost my girlfriend and got an appointment coming up soon. Again, thank you Reddit. Comment. The devastating loss. Aside, I would like to tell the OP that a wonderful life and family is completely possible from this pregnancy situation. My husband and I were pretty much just hooking up when got together. Both agreed it was just fun, etc. I got pregnant within a couple months. Birth control user error. One time also we didn't use a condom one time. I was going to abort. He was on track with that. But I just couldn't. He wasn't thrilled. We agreed to keep it platonic, and that lasted like a week or two. Got very close during the pregnancy, moved in 3 months after the birth. We're now 24 years later, 4 more kids, married 20 years, going on a huge trip that was COVID delayed, enjoying our empty house as the last kid moved out last fall. It's hard to form a relationship with babies. Babies can be very hard. I think we lucked out as we had an easy baby. That first one out. You just might be okay, OP. We have come to the end of our story. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Tell us what you think about this story in the comments.